Today we are doing a Pilates workout without using our arms. What that means is we're gonna avoid planking and we're gonna avoid getting down on all fours and putting weight through our wrists. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna talk you through this a little bit as we warm up. So what I want you to do is have your feet about hip distance apart, okay? Spread your toes nice and wide. So really ground those feet down into the mat. Then we're gonna exhale, raise up onto your toes. Inhale to lower back down. And arms can just be at your sides or you can have your hands on your hips. So the inspiration from this came from my own life, as it often does when I'm working with you all. I had my double mastectomy and reconstruction 5.5 weeks ago. I have been told that there's a lot of movement I can do. I can do whatever I want with my legs. I can do some balance work. I can do walking. I can do a little range of motion with my arms, but I can't use dumbbells and I cannot do any kind of planks or push-ups or anything like that. So that has led me to do some experimenting on what I can do because I know movement makes me feel better. So I want to move. I desperately want to do some Pilates without using my arms. So I'm bringing that to you today, okay? 2 more. Last one. Now on this one, I want you to lower your heels down and just do a little squat, okay? And you'll see what I'm doing is it's almost just a little knee bend, keeping my back upright, okay? So I'm not sitting back and down into a squat, I'm just right here. And I also know that this is gonna be appropriate for many of you who talk about having pain in your wrists with planks, or you have some shoulder injuries going on or things like that. So I figured there are probably many of you who could use a workout like this as well. Just keep in mind, we are gonna do a little bit of shoulder range of motion because I know for myself, I needed that just to begin my rehab and I needed it just to keep my shoulders healthy, but we're not gonna do anything on all fours or anything in any kind of plank position. Okay, so now on this next one, I want you to raise up onto your toes. Then bend your knees like you just did. Then lower your heels down, stand back up. So we're gonna raise up onto our toes, bend our knees, lower the heels, straighten your knees. And if you need anything for balance, just go ahead and take it. Kitchen counter, wall, chair, anything you need. Okay, so some of these movements I was doing in the 10 days after my surgery, definitely holding on to something for balance. Because again, movement is recommended, as long as your doctor recommends it to you after any kind of surgery, it's recommended to help with circulation, to help with digestion, to help prevent blood clots, those kind of things. So I was desperately trying to find things I could do that felt really safe and good. Okay, we're gonna reverse it. So keep your heels down, bend your knees, raise up onto your toes, straighten, lower your heels. So bend your knees, heels lift, stand up, and lower. So this is also really good for ankle strength and ankle mobility. So if you have issues with your ankles, if you have a hard time lunging, if you have a hard time with balance, this can really help. Okay, we're just gonna do 1 more and then we're gonna take it into another series. Nice job. All right, so we're gonna start just standing again, hip distance apart. Arms are at your sides with either palms facing back, and I want you to raise them up in front just to shoulder height. Out to the side, and then back down, okay? Because I told you we're gonna do a little bit of arm, just range of motion here. So if you have something like a frozen shoulder that you feel like I can't even do that much range, Jessica, just do small circles here at your sides. I promise this is beneficial too. Okay, or let's say you have a sling on one side, then you can just do this on one side. And this is still really, really tight for me. Okay, and then you can add something to this if you'd like. If you want, you come into a Pilates V and into a high heel, and then you maintain that posture. And then suddenly we're doing a little bit of a variation of a series that Joseph Pilates would start his mat classes with. So there's always something, right? There's always something that we can do, even if it's just breathing, even if it's just sitting and breathing. Okay, switch directions. Out forward, and down. And even this range of motion with my shoulders, I was not allowed to do until about 3 or 4 weeks after my surgery. So even though this is really tight and really hard, I'm grateful to be here right now. Last one. And then lower. Great job. Okay, we're gonna come down onto the mat. Bend your knees and find yourself in a bridge position with your feet flat, hip distance apart. Take an inhale and exhale, curl, roll yourself up. Inhale at the top and exhale. Just let everything sink down. Try not to actively press down, okay? Inhale at the bottom, exhale, float up. I find if you really actively like push down each vertebrae as hard as you can, you end up squeezing your butt and squeezing your neck muscles and everything tenses up, which is what we don't want. It's more this idea of trying to get heavy. And I think of my organs actually. I think of my heart getting heavy, my lungs getting heavy, stomach. All of that just gets heavy, which ends up helping that weight down into the mat. On this next one, we're gonna roll up and stay there. And if you don't like this part, you can always just continue with your bridging. Otherwise, roll up, stay here, lift your left leg, lower it down, right leg, lower it down. And you'll start to notice, as I did, there's actually quite a bit you can do without your arms, even into the intermediate and maybe even advanced, depending on how you feel and what's going on with your arms and your shoulders. So I wouldn't call this a beginner or a gentle class. I would just call it kind of a no arms or no wrists class. Last one. Exhale, roll down. Okay, do you remember the beginning of class we found that Pilates V? I want you to find it again. All right, so you're gonna go into a Pilates V. You turn out, your heels are together and touching. Your feet are flat, and you're gonna curl and roll up. And then roll back down. So we're doing a bridge again, but we're in this turned out position, which might make you feel your buns just a little bit more. Roll up. We're gonna stay here. I want little pulses of your knees out. Okay, knees pulse out, 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 in, squeeze, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale to roll back down. Bring your legs together. We're coming back up to seated. So you might just push yourself up from there. I can't do that, okay? I still can't use my arm in that way. So I have been working a lot on roll-ups. Arms come up because it's the only way I can sit up. Inhale, exhale, tuck your chin, roll yourself up. Reach over, restack. So we are gonna start with our legs out in front of us, and the legs are gonna be about mat distance apart. Pull your toes back towards you. So another benefit of doing a warm up like what we just did or starting class like that is that you are warmed up. We can go into some of our more mobility work here. So pull the toes back, sit up as tall as you can, and your hands are just gonna go across your chest. And inhale to the left as you twist, exhale center, inhale, twist right, exhale, center. So if this is a familiar exercise to you, you know, typically we'll do it with hands behind your head. But here too, this is gonna be, at least I can say from experience, a much more comfortable place to start if you're having any kind of shoulder issues. And if you feel fine in this position, then go ahead and come here and think about opening up with that back elbow. So if you go to the right, it's the right elbow that reaches back. and then center. And if you go to the left, it's the left elbow that reaches back. And then center. Last one. And back to center. Okay, now we're gonna bring our feet together. Again, sit up as tall as you can here. Arms are in front of you with the palms facing down, and exhale, arms lift. Inhale, lower. And maybe again, you're just right here. Okay, so when I first started, what I was allowed to do is just right here. Okay, and I just worked on sitting up as tall as I could. That's really the piece of this that I want you to get, is that mobility piece. When you're so stiff everywhere else, this just feels so good. So maybe you're just doing it right here like I was, or just a really gentle bicep curl like this. Otherwise, lift and lower. Just 2 more. Nice job. Arms down at your sides. Inhale, sit up tall, tall, tall. Exhale, tuck your chin, roll forward. I'm just gonna gently walk my hands out. Take an inhale once you get there. And exhale, walk yourself back up. Inhale, tall. Exhale, tuck your chin. Do it again. Last time. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. And then left ear to your left shoulder. Head back up nice and tall. One more deep breath in. And exhale, feel all of that air leave your body. Let your shoulders drop, your shoulder blades slide down your back. And let the rest of your body carry you right now. And thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you on your mat soon.